Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Happy Tuesday. Yeah. So, Bitcoin dropped a little bit, but dips are gifts. So, let's get into the show. Hope you guys are having a good day. Let's get into it. So today we're covering dips are gifts. So we'll be talking about that during the Why We Stack segment. But for now, let's jump into the first segment of the show that we like to call Set Strength. All right, so today the price of Bitcoin is at $49,177. Not bad, it's not bad. Don't be afraid if it's your first time here and you're learning about Bitcoin. You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin, and that's called a Satoshi. Okay? There's 100 million Satoshis in one Bitcoin, just like there's 100 pennies in $1. Okay? So right now you can buy 2,033 Satoshis for a single dollar. All right? So you're walking down the street, minding your own business, you look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you'll have 22 Satoshis for a single penny. What a deal. What a deal. All right. So, yeah, that is the set strength. Okay. So, it's wild. You see these crazy dips. Gotta be stacking sats. Exactly. What's up, Garrett? Welcome to the stream. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Garrett. Yeah, guys. So, I was trying to figure out, I mean, it's impossible for anybody to know really why Bitcoin dips like that, right? Some people are just taking profits, right? Another rumor that I hear is that some more of the FTX holdings in GBTC got liquidated, so makes sense they sold. So add a new supply to the so then Grayscale has to sell that actual Bitcoin, and that brings more supply back into the market, right? But still, slow and steady, the trend of these ETFs accumulating is much stronger than the trend of Grayscale selling, right? So these ETFs altogether are accumulating about 12 times or 10 to 12 times the amount of Bitcoin being mined every day. So they're buying up 9,000 Bitcoins a day, a session, and the new release of Bitcoin is 900 Bitcoin right now, right? When the halving happens, it'll be 450 Bitcoin a day. So definitely the demand is there to wipe out exchange supplies. Let's see, how long do we have until the halving? Let's look at it real quick. Browser. Ooh, it's big. There we go. 69 days until the halving. So the 23rd of April is estimated halving based on the current hash rate and block interval. It should be 10 minutes, but it's never exactly 10 minutes. It's off and on. It goes a little bit more, a little bit less. But over time, the goal is 10 minutes per block. But yeah, crazy, right? All right, so let's get into that topic real quick. Let's intro the segment. Here we go. Where is it? There it is. Why we stack. All right, so on days like today when Bitcoin drops a little bit, right? You might question yourself. You might question your decision to start investing in Bitcoin, right? But just know that these little moves, especially the down moves right now, you should think of them not as a signal to get out, but as a signal, as an opportunity to buy more sats per dollar. Okay? Because if somebody's selling off or somebody is forced to sell like they're doing with these FTX GBTC shares, it doesn't affect the actual thing that Bitcoin is doing, right? The government is still spending money, and they just approved what $65 million for Ukraine, Israel, and I forget what the third one was. Anyway, they just approved the package, or they're trying to get a package approved, or they approved it last night. I forget exactly what the status is, but that money doesn't come from nowhere. That money doesn't exist, and as soon as Congress approves it, or the government approves it, that money gets created by us selling treasuries, right? And then what funds those treasuries? The Fed, with a limitless bank account that doesn't have any limits. Yeah, that's true, Garrett. It's not even a loan. You're right. It's not even a loan. It's a crazy gift. Yep. But as soon as that got approved, the money supply increased by 65 million, right? Just like that, instantly, boom. The money expanded, and when your dollars are when your value is stored in dollars, you in essence contributed to that $65 million worth of value by losing a fraction of your value, right? Simple as that. It's pretty wild, and the only way you can get away from that is to have your value outside of that system. Bitcoin Beacon in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Bitcoin Beacon. Welcome to the stream. So 65 million bucks got approved, gets added to the debt, and you're on the hook for it, whether you're voting for a Republican or a Democrat or an other or writing in, doesn't matter. You're still paying for it. You're still paying for it. So that really sucks, right? The only way to get out of it is by shielding your money from inflation by saving in Bitcoin. Just like that. Super simple. Super easy to do. It just takes getting signed up with the exchange, or getting signed up like on hodlhodl.com, or any way you can find to buy Bitcoin, real Bitcoin. Get it moved over to your wallet that you control the keys for. In other words, taking custody of your coins and chilling. That's it. That's all you got to do. And they're going to do the rest for you. That's why you're saying dips are gifts. When the price dips like this for some reason that's like temporary, it's an opportunity to buy cheaper sats. Okay. So if you're already doing your DCA diligence and you're buying at a set frequency, a certain amount, then you don't have to worry about it, right? But let's say that for whatever reason the price drops down a lot because there's some crazy thing that's affecting everything else in the market that doesn't really have anything to do with Bitcoin, or that doesn't break. Like if all of a sudden they said, yeah, you guys are right, we're gonna stop printing money and we're gonna have to figure this out, then there might be an issue, right? But still, they can turn the money printers back on anytime they want. It doesn't matter what they do at this point. They kind of back themselves into a wall. They have to keep printing, right? Or it just doesn't work. That system doesn't work, right? So you gotta keep kicking the can down the road as far as possible, and they're making the problem worse and worse, right? Because if they start to fix a problem, and people start to see the real value of the things they own start to go down, people start to see their housing, the prices of their homes go down, right? And maybe they're upside down their loan now, right? And maybe now they don't want to pay for that, right? Same thing is happening with the cars nowadays, right? People got stuck in these crazy huge loans, overpaid for cars, luxury cars that they shouldn't probably own. And now that the prices of cars are coming down, nobody's able to get out of those loans, right? Because they owe more than they're underwater, basically. They're upside down on their cars. So anyway, it's just a crazy situation that we're in. And if you don't want to even deal with it, the best thing you could do is just stack sats, save in Bitcoin. And as you can see, we'll jump into this chart because I love showing this chart, because it's just it's pretty crazy. Because you see, I'm gonna go back to my burrito index. You look at the burrito index, and I moved some stuff around today. I noticed that my bread went down a little bit. It's still not as cheap as I was able to get it. $4.50. It went to $4.89 from $5.49, right? And today, at the price of Bitcoin, the price of my bread actually went down to quadruple digit sats. Let's go! What up, BTC Moon Guy in the house? Round of applause for BTC Moon Guy. So the price of bread, the price of the bread I buy the 12 grain bread. It's like pretty fancy, I guess. But yeah, it went down. So I paid 10,145 sats a couple days ago, and right now I could have been paying 9,112 sats. So the price of my bread is almost down 40% since we started tracking it back in October, and the price of my my burrito is definitely down 44%. So I'm gonna go buy myself a burrito after the show. I already put it in the sheet because I know it's gonna be $13.70. If the price changes, I'll let you guys know, but that's pretty much been the price. So anyways, I like to highlight this sheet because it shows you that over time, the longer you hold Bitcoin, the cheaper things get for you, and the less you'll have to basically work to keep buying the stuff you normally buy, to keep paying for whatever you need to pay, right? Now, if you take that and you look at your finances, and you look at your lifestyle, and you look at the things that you like to do or you want to do, make a spreadsheet for yourself, right? Figure it out. Okay, this is how much I make. This is how much it costs me in dollars. And then start saving in Bitcoin. And you could track yourself. You could track the things that you do, like the rent you pay, the car payment you make, the lifestyle you like to have, whatever that the costs are involved in that. And you can actually go through and figure out by when, how much Bitcoin you need, right? And by when, so that you can continue to have that lifestyle. Maybe stop working, maybe work part-time if you want to, right? Maybe not work at all, right? Just depends on how hard you're stacking and how high the price of Bitcoin goes eventually, right? And whether you want to keep that forever or you want to just, once you get to a certain point, do you want to start selling it off? I recommend you don't sell it off. I recommend that you give it to somebody or pass it on to one of your descendants. But the idea is there. It's very doable. It's very doable, right? And then you might consider, okay, well, if it costs me $13 for a burrito here in the United States, $13 for my burrito, how much will that same burrito cost me in a different country? Ooh, now you're thinking about like, okay, well, what if I move to a country where my sats bought more stuff, or my sats are more valuable, right? Because the U.S. really is kind of the most expensive country because you're paying in dollars. But what about a country that's like on an even weaker currency, right? Then you have like a double effect of, you know how, like, I like to call this like the what do they call them? The expat effect, right? The expats will move from a richer country to a poorer country with their retirement and make their retirement last longer or extend more or give them a better lifestyle because their money is more powerful than the local money. Okay, so that's the expat effect, right? When you save in Bitcoin, you basically get that expat effect, but in the United States, right? So that's kind of cool. Like you're coming from Bitcoin country, you're coming from the Bitcoin country, and you're spending your stronger money in a weaker dollar economy. Is that wild? That's crazy, right? That's crazy. So then if you want to get to retirement sooner, maybe you can have the double expat effect, which would be you're on the Bitcoin standard, but you're living in a country that's got money that's weaker than the dollar. And now my burrito might cost me, I don't know, $3, but actually about what, 6,000 Satoshis instead of 27,000 Satoshis for my burrito, right? Does my lifestyle get better? Well, do I have you just have to pick the right place to live. I'm not saying you guys should move or anything, but it's an option, right? If maybe you don't hit your stacking goal, I don't know, it's just an option. I was kind of looking at different things. And as part of me looking at different things, at different options, you genuinely have to consider, guys, what happens what if Bitcoin hits $1 million and you have a whole Bitcoin? You're a millionaire, right? It's crazy. I know it's like it might just This might just be the conversation you think about, like you say, oh, what would happen if we won the lotto? You're laughing with your friends, just kind of making that, having that funny conversation. But what if it's, but it could happen, right? So you have a whole Bitcoin already and you have $1 million. Okay. Well, you got to start planning that kind of stuff. Are you going to stay in the US? If not, are you going to move somewhere, right? If so, what do you need to do to move to those different places? Where would you like to move, right? And did you know that if you make over $2 million, so if you make if you hodled your butt off, and you've accumulated 2 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin hits $2 million, all of a sudden you're subject to exit tax. Yeah, if you're living in the United States, if you're worth more than $2 million, you have to pay an exit tax if you want to go if you want to live in a different country and like basically become a resident of a different country. It's wild, right? So if you could be in that situation, maybe you have 4 Bitcoin right now, right? And you're gonna hit $2 million when Bitcoin hits 500,000, right? If it hits 500,000, you're gonna be at 2 million. Sorry, you're gonna have $2 million worth of value. You're subject to exit tax. If you're not gonna leave the country, don't worry about it. But if you're thinking about leaving the country, once you make a certain amount, you might want to get all that stuff sorted out ahead of time before you hit that $2 million mark, which is so wild. It's crazy. So my plan for that is to start working on that thing, start figuring out now what I want to do, where I want to live, how I want to live if the options become available that I don't have to work anymore. Oh my gosh, we'll see what happens, right? I have lots of things to consider, but it's good to have a little bit of thought into that, to put a little thought into that, right? Especially now that Bitcoin's going up. And if you guys have been holding on for a long time and stacking lots of coins, it's something to consider, right? So yeah, very, very crazy. I know it's a crazy conversation that kind of went a little bit off the rails a little bit, but those are things that if you're stacking Bitcoin could really become a possibility, right? You could be we had a whole episode on this before, how you could end up being the first millionaire in your family, right? It's wild. And like before Bitcoin, I never thought about it as like a possibility. It's more like, oh yeah, that'd be cool if someday I could do something to make $1 million, like start a business or something like that, right? And now it's like it seems very like attainable, right? Just keep stacking. If you're stacking, just keep stacking, and we'll keep it going. Speaking of stacking, let's check into our stack during the stack recap. All right, here we go. Because we don't only talk about stacking sats, we actually stack sats Monday through Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. Here on the Stack Sats Show, we're buying a little bit of Bitcoin every day. So here we got the price of Bitcoin is $49,469, and our average buy price is $43,000 for 2024. So today we're gonna stack $20 worth of Bitcoin to our stack. And that's what we're doing today. $20 worth of Bitcoin. Let's get this set up. Buy now. Yep. All right, that's set up. Nothing else left to do. Let's stack some sats. And of course, Bitcoin's going up a little bit as we're buying. Always buy the top. Right, here we go. We're buying the top. Buying the local top. $20. Get this preview going. Okay. Screenshot. Always buying the local top before I go get a carne asada burrito. Today is episode 160. Let's go. 160. 160 Bitcoin buys documented. Probably more than that, actually. All right. All right, so here we go. Cut the music. Drum roll, please. We're buying $20 worth of Bitcoin around Swan. If you guys have any questions, any comments, put it in the chat. I'm dying out here. Let me know you're there. Thanks for the likes, guys. I appreciate that. Oh, Keep it going. Drum roll rolling. Oh my gosh. I don't have any memes for you guys today or any Twitter clips today. All right, we're gonna hit the gong anyway. All right. Just like that, the Bitcoin has been purchased. Oh, nice. Oh, BTC Moongate. We'll talk about the cartoons for a little bit. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh, I appreciate that. Let me do this. Let's do this update to the spreadsheet, and we'll talk about Hodl Boy comic. That's so fun. I've always wanted to be an artist. Ever since I was a kid. Ever since I was a child. I've always loved drawing. I can't talk and type at the same time. Give me a second. I've always loved drawing. And when I was a kid, oh man, this is a good story. I'll tell you guys story time. Let me just finish this update and I'll tell you guys a story. 49, 635. We got $20 worth. 0.000 39891. There it is. 39,000 satoshis. And our total is 2.9 million satoshis. Almost to 3 million satoshis in 2024. Let's take that and duplicate the data over on our cumulative tracking sheet. Right here. Boom. And just like that. What up, Andrew? Still having kicking. Let's go, Andrew. Welcome. All right. 13.6 million satoshis overall. 41% profits since 2023 May, and 12% profits just in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, if that ain't proof, I don't know what is. All right, now let's talk about some stuff. Here we go. All right, let's talk about this comic, guys. I'm having such a blast using the skills that I've been working on for my whole life. As a kid, I've always liked drawing. And let me see, where's this thing? Browser. Here we go. Hodl Boy number 2 is out. Priced out. So let's see. How can I make this source view? Let's go on Twitter. So let's go on Instagram. Yeah, on Instagram it's easier because you can swipe, right? There it is. Hodl Boy number 2, priced out. As a little boy yelling, 48,000. And we go through the whole process of explaining. Hodl Boy jumps in out of nowhere because he's your friendly neighborhood Bitcoiner. I made his eyes kind of like Spider-Man eyes, right? Because he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Well, this is your friendly neighborhood Bitcoiner. What up, Hard Hodl in the house? Round of applause from the live studio audience. CNBC just had a huge story about Bitcoin. Let's go! Love it. So basically, this kid's freaking out because he feels like he's priced out. He thinks he has to save up money to buy a Bitcoin, and every time he saves up, he can't afford it because Bitcoin keeps going up in price. So Hodl Boy explains to him that you don't save for Bitcoin, you save in Bitcoin, and they go into that. Oh no, it did it again. Is that right? Oh, let me reset this. I think there it goes. So basically, the stuff I say on the show all the time, I just put it into comic format, right? And then explains it. He explains how it works. He gets it. He gets the idea of stacking sats, but then he's confused by the idea of taking custody. He's like, take what? So that's to be continued. So I'll do that one in a couple, maybe this week, and we'll just take it from there. It's just another way for people to like start to mess around and grasp at the idea of Bitcoin. It's a different option, right? For orange pilling somebody, right? And then eventually they'll get back into the single ones like this. These are very easy to share. It's a lot harder to share the one that has multiple tabs. So I'll probably stick with a one or two picture format where it's just one square, maybe two squares. That way it's easier to share, right? But just things like this that make you question, right? So, yep. And yeah, Andrew, we made the Bitcoin logo his mask. So, very cool. All right. So let's talk about this art stuff, okay? If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna put you guys on hold. I'm gonna put you guys here for a second. I'm gonna see if I can find this one thing. Give me like 2 minutes. I'm gonna run and try to find this. If I can find it, great. If not, I'll come right back. But I need to have this. Okay, I need to have this. Meanwhile, I need you guys to listen to this intro video and tell me if you guys can hear the sound. Okay, because I think I've been playing this intro and not getting sound. So listen to this and let me know in the chat if you can hear the sound.
During the winter season, the average normie hibernates, and Bitcoin is essentially non-existent. But there remains a dedicated class we call the humble sat stacker. Stay humble and we'll stack them sets. We'll stack them sets. Turn up the pressure and we'll turn up the hash.
All right. All right, you guys can hear it. That's good. All right, I'm gonna kill it. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, great. So I figured out it was showing me on the display that it had double sound. So I was muting the soundboard, but I was hearing it in my headset, but you guys weren't hearing it in the stream. So I figured it out. Now you guys can hear it in the stream. So I've been playing that intro, getting all hype and stuff, and then coming on live, and then it's like you guys weren't even hearing the sound. That sucks. Sorry about that. Okay, here it is. Story time. When I was in high school, I graduated in 1998. I know, right? So I graduated in 1998, and I've always liked drawing. So even since I was a kid before school, before high school, whatever, I just loved drawing. And but like I don't come from money, right? So it's always been a thing where it's like, well, you gotta go into a field that's gonna get you work, and you have to get a nice job. You can't be a starving artist. You can't be a struggling artist because you gotta do something different, right? So I was always not pushed, but encouraged by my situation to go for the technical stuff because I understand technical stuff. I'm an engineer now, but never pursued art professionally, right? So so I kind of always had the drawing, the love for drawing, and different styles, right? Like in my fishing community, I draw like fishing stuff, right? This is one of my designs, right? It's a halibut. In some parts of the country, they call them a flounder, right? That's one of my designs back here too. This spotted bay bass. Just like different things. So I thought it'd be cool to I'm even doing another web comic for about like a day in the life of those little fish back here. It's called Spotty Bay. It's just, you wouldn't get it if you're not into fishing, right? But if you're into fishing, they're hilarious. Well, they're funny to me anyway, and my kids, I think they're hilarious. But I've never had really like anyway, so back in high school, I used to draw a lot. And one of my comic strips, it was a 3-panel comic strip, made it into, oh, I just broke it. No. Made it into the that's called, I guess the local area was called the Ventura County Star. It's a newspaper. And I got first place for my cartoon in this award they called the Best of High School Journalism. I know, right? There it is. Look at, gee, I'm holding on the plaque because it almost fell off. So at there, 1998, first place for cartoon, Roman Castro, by the Star Award for Ventura County Star. Isn't that cool? Round of applause for me. Right? It's wild, huh? And so I've always, like I said, I've always loved drawing, right? But it was never something that I saw as a viable way to sustain myself. I mean, now there is, right? But back in the 90s, right? Yeah, back in the 90s, early 2000s, yeah, you could have gone. There wasn't like, I don't know. There wasn't. I got too busy trying to what I call money chase to focus on my art, right? And so like now it's like I'm way older and I'm more stable in my life, and I've accomplished a lot of stuff, and that I have a little bit of extra time, then I can start dabbling in these things that I love to do, right? So I love learning about Bitcoin. I love teaching Bitcoin, and I love drawing. So why not, right? I have the means of doing it now. I'm gonna just mess around and see what happens, right? So now we all know what you will be doing when Bitcoin exactly. Exactly, Andrew. I'll be just do whatever I'll be doing whatever I've been wanting to do for so long, which is like maybe draw for a while until I get bored of it. I also love playing instruments. I also love playing guitar, right? And I've also always wanted to learn to play piano, but I never have. I can dabble with a little bit of piano. I can pretend like I know how to play piano, but I don't know how to really play piano. That'd be another thing I would love to do. And so anyway, the options, the whole point of this, me sharing this whole conversation and me sharing this story, is that for me, those are the things that I'll probably want to take my time and spend on. For you, it might be different, but the idea that we even get to do it is what Bitcoin is about. You know, that's the beauty of it, is that you don't have to be stuck in the rat race, money chasing, and you can actually pursue whatever makes you happy, whatever is your dream, and that is just incredible to me, and that is why I take the time every freaking day to be on here just talking about this stuff, because it might go into somebody's ear that hasn't heard it yet, and it's just gonna ping, and they're gonna be able to do whatever their heart has wanted to do for such a long time, right? And get out of that rat race and start taking some of your time back and investing it in the things that you love to do, which is like priceless to me, right? So because you can't get, no matter how much Bitcoin you stack, no matter how hard you work, you can't really get any more of your time back, right? Any more of the time you already spent, right? But by saving in Bitcoin, you are not only saving the time you've worked, but you're saving yourself the time of working in the future. So you're not going to go back and get yourself more time, but you are going to set aside some of your future time so that you can use it in the way that you want to without being kind of coerced into working or doing something you don't really want to do, right? So with that sentiment, with that feeling, I'll leave you guys with that for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Stack Sat Show. Yeah, everybody take care. Shout out BTC Moon Guy, thanks for tuning in. Andrew, thanks for tuning in. Mr. Android, Andrew, thanks for tuning in. Mr. Android, thanks for tuning in. Garrett, what up? Thanks for tuning in, Garrett. I went to get my captain's license and do short night fishing charters a few days a week. Perfect, Garrett. Garrett, if you can figure out a way to accept Bitcoin as payment for your charter business, you'll be the Bitcoin charter dude. You'll get so much. I think you'll get business just because you'll accept Bitcoin, and you understand the profoundness of it. You understand the value of it. If accepting Bitcoin as payment, that'll be like its own marketing campaign. You know, like anybody going to San Diego? Sure. Anybody gonna go want to do a charter? Sure. Well, go to this guy because he accepts Bitcoin, right? And you don't have to save it. You can exchange it for your costs, but at the same time, it's a little stack, right? It's pretty cool. Anyway, that's an option. That's an option. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you guys tomorrow when we're doing a little stack. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later.